Hey everybody, welcome to Small Cap Recap. I'm Trader Bryce, and today we're going to get into, well, the market, which has absolutely sucked this week. It's been extremely slow. I am not really seeing just about anything I like. I took one trade today, which was one of my now two trades out of the last 2 weeks, and I just took a little loss on it this morning. I did open a swing position today that I'm a little bit interested in, but very small size, just because, well, again, this market has been very difficult for me to navigate. I was hoping we would start seeing some action heating up by now, but just not seeing nearly as much as I would have hoped for. But we are coming into the fall. We're going to be in the winter months coming here soon as well, which generally speaking are some of the better months in my opinion, and most traders' opinions too, for the market. So there are going to be a lot of things that we're going to be looking at here going into the fall, but for now I want to show you actually what really would be, in my opinion, better things to avoid because of some of the action I'm seeing all across the board. So without further ado, let's get on into the charts and take a look.
All right, here we are into the charts, and like I had just said, there really isn't a whole lot going on right now, in my opinion. And I think that gets extremely overwhelmingly obvious when our top percent gainer of the day closes down 51%. No joke. This closed yesterday at 4, ran to 8, went up almost 9, was up almost 100% on the day, and is now down 50%. I mean, this isn't gonna be a very long recap today because the recap is essentially stay safe. And the point being, there are a lot of fake out moves right now in this market. There are so many fake outs, and that really applies in both directions, but more so on the long side, in my opinion. It is terrible. This sucks. If you're a long bias trader. If you're a short bias trader, I guess you just short anything and it kind of works. Any top percent gainer anyway. This is one of a few. We did have, a different runner today, CEI, but it's just a dilutive piece of crap. That will be a short at some point, if it's not already. In fact, I'll just take a look at that right now so we can kind of go over just what that looks like. Yeah, I mean, just it only really had one move though. There was a move, I suppose, if you were to take this breakout down here, or maybe even gotten a little bit more aggressive on that breakout, basically through like 32. But congratulations, whoop-de-doo. It's a 5-cent move. Just not my kind, and it's CEI. It sucks. So let's go VSME. This is just really gross. I mean, it was a halt fest, pretty nice. Had a couple halts up, and went from 8 down to 2. You don't need much more of an explanation than that. Just be careful. VINO, another reason to be cautious. This was at $4 yesterday. It gaps up. Here, I'll go on a 5-day. Gaps up from 2, goes up 100%, goes all the way back down, basically giving up all of its gains, and then fades down another 40% today. There is just no follow through on these day one gappers. It definitely seems like the best moves are kind of slower swing trades, right? NVOS, really decent. Not even that. Dang, I didn't see how that closed. Really nice daily chart. Reminded me a lot of TTOO in a lot of ways in the multi-day move it was doing. And this was a really important day here as we kind of created a head and shoulders on the daily chart, right? We had these two shoulders here in that head. And it ended up breaking out of that, which is really great. But that said, right, the problem being, in my opinion, is that this is a really slow multi-day mover. And so, I mean, it's a nice move from 30 up to 50, but that took basically 4 days to do. And in my opinion, it's just a lot of risk for no real reason. Well, I say no real reason. I mean, it is one of the few things that's moving right now. But, to me, it sketches me out a bit being in that for that long, and especially trading a head and shoulders on a multi-day time frame. The fact it hasn't squeezed yet actually scares me a little bit because a head and shoulders, a bearish pattern that ends up not working should be pretty explosive to the upside. It should have trapped a lot of people, and it's just kind of walking up. I guess at this point, the real move will be if it breaks over 55, and to which point I guess we'll just see if it ends up doing that. I expect a dip here in the coming days, but it did break out. Actually, oh well, that's the daily chart's just not loading right, I guess. Because it did go up to like 52 cents, which was nice. I guess it did push up 52 cents. So never mind. Well, it's a big wick nonetheless, and we saw what it did last time. It had a big wick and then closed lower. So I mean, really, pretend this wick looks more like that, right? If that's that wick looks more like, just kind of pushing up, failing, pushing up, failing. At some point, I would expect this probably to topple down a bit, but anything is possible. And it did close decently well, but it really needs to close over or we need to get back over this 48-cent level next, and see if we can actually break out. Now, I'm going to give you just kind of two stocks that I'm looking at, and ones that I kind of like for those swing setups. MGAM, very low volume, but I really like this daily chart setting up. It did actually break out into close. It closed up at 54. This is a former runner, just bouncing off of lows. I feel like this is one where once the move happens, it probably gets a lot harder to trade. And unfortunately, it's really tough to take a position, a big enough position, down low at these levels. I have a small position looking for that breakout. I've got a 47-cent average looking at it now. So we'll see what happens. I'm risking 39 for the time being. I'd like to see if this can just push upwards of basically 75 cents to $1 over the next couple days. MGAM it followed MSGM, which also had a push today. They're both gaming companies. I just like MGAM's daily chart better, but MSGM could certainly do some in the near future here too. Just a lot of wicks there. I don't trust this one as much. I'd rather let this one try to actually bounce because I feel like it'll be a bit tougher to trade, and then see if MGAM can follow it because it has actually a better chart. And then MULN, a really dilutive one, very much like CEI, extremely dilutive, although not nearly as dilutive. If you really, so the high on MULN is $275,000 a share relative or comparative to its dilution, so it actually wasn't trading at $270,000 a share at one point. CEI at one point, I don't even know if it'll let me go back that far, was trading at $5 billion a share at one point. And actually, if you go back farther than 20 shares, it actually was at, I think, 14 billion and is now trading at 30 cents. So both dilutive pieces of crap, absolutely. MULN has made multi-day runs off of its lows, though, so I'd be interested to see if it could do it again. It does have a somewhat cult-like following on Twitter. I have a very small position, risking 39, risking that low. But, doubtful anything will actually come out of that. Well, actually, I shouldn't say doubtful. I just don't know if anything will come out of it before we get a dump. But it looks a lot like TTOO did right before it made its move, which very similar kind of stock, similar kind of move, although TTOO is a biotech. So we'll see if anything happens out of that there. But, MULN, again, very dilutive, but it is kind of forming a nice consolidation into close here, or it after today's close, I should say. Decent consolidation, decent push up over that multi-day 48-cent breakout level. We'll see what comes out of that. But again, being very, very cautious in this market. I'm swinging stocks with very small size because day trading has been extremely difficult. In fact, I actually did try, my only trade today was MSGM, and that failed. I mean, I was happy with the spot. I bought at 420, pushed up to 470, and then I got stopped out at 390. Just a little frustrating, but it is what it is. Again, tiny size here on that, and I ended up stopping out anyways. So, yeah, that's the market right now, guys. I don't have a whole lot else to say. The market also, by the way, is kind of just overall plummeting. The SPY, not bad. We're consolidating in the 420s, but I'll tell you, it's not looking great. Or just kind of markets just in turmoil. So I would say just be careful, everyone. And, I don't have a whole lot else to add other than be really cautious on day trades. be cautious on sizing, and just stay as safe as you can. And the market will eventually turn at some point, but right now is not the time to be forcing size unless you're doing really well. I certainly have not found much that's been working well on the long side though. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining today. I hope you all, or for watching, not joining, I guess this isn't a webinar. Thank you all for watching today. I will see you back here next week on next week's Small Cap Recap. And I hope you all are having a great time and have a great weekend. And hopefully not losing too much money on the long side. All right, everyone, take it easy. See you next week.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for being a part of the Stocks to Trade family. We just hit 100,000 subscribers, but our goal by the end of this year is to get 150,000 new family members a part of our channel. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, comment down below, hit the subscribe button, and maybe even turn on your post notifications. We cannot do this without your guys' support. So thank you so much. And if you want to see more of what we're doing, again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment down below. We'll see you in the next video.